So here we're looking at some danglies coming out of the 67 Camaro. And that means the rear end is out of the car. And the rear end is out of the car because it was mounted in. Tabs were mounted, things were tack welded, and it's now in the back of my truck. So Monday morning we're going to take that to the welder. And when it comes back, not only will the tabs be all in place and welded in, I wonder if we can see under here. If you look up there, you can see how they set up your anti-sway bar. So there's a tab that goes right to that piece you're looking at on each side. And that goes straight forward off the axle. So that gives you an idea where the axle sits about here. And then these come up and bolt into the pockets that get bolted underneath the spring perches. Then your four links, you know, they go up in there. I think we did a video on all that. Bottom of the car is painted. Suspension's all set up. We just got to put the axle back in. So right now what we have going on, I emptied out the axles, took all the guts out, took the diff out. They're going to get rid of the C-clip action, and they're going to do a stronger rear end with better axles and a posi. So we're having all that done after the machine shop's done welding the brackets on, which is cool. And what we did today, my guy showed up with the front frame. These are just some 15-inch Camaro rollers, but that there should be a good teaser right there as to what went into the car. So where do we start? Ride tech, control arms, all the good stuff. And then we got same type of shock as coilover as the rear. And I think they're like a 500 the rate on the front and 200 on the back, I believe is what it said. Either way, it is what it is. We got this cool bracket and right, rack and pinion. That's from Flaming River. And apparently we're going to go ahead with a Flaming River column. And they've got all the stuff for this car. So for a change, we might have something that we don't have to modify the hell out of. But you can see how what they did, and it's kind of smart. They've got these plates, which is welded to this. Let's see if we can get it from the back side here. All right, so those bolts, that's where your idler arm used to be. And that plate comes around and goes down. Your rack bolts to it. And it comes up, and then that side, it bolts to where the steering box used to go. Now, the cool thing is you can build all this a lot cheaper than what this costs. But they've got the height, they've got the size, the length, all that stuff. The math is all figured out. So if we're going to do our own on the next build, and we're thinking of doing our own rack and pinion on the next one, which is a 69 Firebird, we might just go with, like, you know, other stuff. But I think I'm going to take a template of this whole entire piece and then find out what size we need the rack to be. And we're going to do a bit of research and see if we can do something like that, you know, on the not so crazy expensive side, because not everybody can afford that. And trust me, that's, wow, like it was in Canada dollars, I'm told north of 3,000. So really, really cool, but not for everybody, because, right, put your money in the right places type of thing. And check it out, multi-piece, crazy, insane Willwood. Now, we did have beautiful calipers on here, and they basically come up onto this plate. We took them off because there's not quite enough room there for the great big 6-piston calipers. And we were told that the calipers would fit, but apparently we had to go to a 4-piston. I don't know what works, but we don't care. The 15-inch rims are going to be ditched. These are just rollers for now. So we'll do the calipers later when we do our 17-inch wheels. So that's where we're at. I can sort of roll it around the shop. The shop's a mess. We're not even going to focus out on that because I got stuff everywhere. But yeah, we're basically, in case you're wondering, we're sitting here on a beam And then I got 2 blocks just to keep it up on the... Anyway, you get the idea on the 2 jack points. We didn't want to go right in under the frame because we don't want to mess up any of the paint. So you can see here, well, all you see is a shadow, but that's where the jack points are. So it's in a good spot. We're not going to scratch nothing up underneath. So when the diff comes back, and I'm going to say that's going to take a week, week and a half, we'll throw that back in. We'll have our roller. And then I'm going to send the car to my buddies. He's the guy that did all this stuff on the front. And this was like a beat up old rusty frame, right, that we took off this car. And it was pretty nice, but that being said, look, a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of paint. It's still stock, nothing beyond stock, but it's pretty nice and clean. You throw all your jewelry and hardware on it, it's cool. So now we got to do a bit of research. Apparently LS, they got some kind of oil pan that'll clear all this. That's not my issue. But once they have the powertrain, I'll probably go help put that in. That won't take place in my shop, but we will do some videos when we do that. And yeah, she's coming along. Once the rear end's back, at least we've got something on wheels that rolls. By the time you see the axle come back, it'll also have a wheel wood brake kit on that too. We're going all the way around. So this is probably going to end up being the most expensive car that I've worked on. These are all the parts off the axle that I kept. A bunch of hardware, bolts. You know, to run your LS, we're doing, I think it's a 480 horse LS3, if I'm not mistaken. We got the gas tank from Holly. It's like a universal kit fuel pump, so basically everything's there, but you got to cut everything down until it fits in the tank. You got your fuel pump here, your sending unit there. So that's ready to go. So when we get the diff in, we'll probably throw that in right away. It's not just metal, that's actually like a powder coat that looks like metal. And so that'll be nice and clean. We got our gas tank straps, the rubbers. What's in there? Oh, there's a fuel filter for under the car. And then we got a bunch of like the AN fitting style braided fuel lines. So that'll be cool. So that's just going to live in there for now. Anyway, just want to do a quick update. It's hard to capture on video what this stuff looks like. But it's pretty cool and it's pretty nice. And it's probably, at this point, the most expensive one I've ever done. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.